You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Graceland After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Graceland After Show.
Hello, AfterBuzzers. Stephanie Giorgi here, flying solo today with your Graceland After Show. It's going to be a little bit different because I'll be talking to you, to myself, and to my paper. Steven might be calling in. Regardless, just hang in there with me. And I do have my phone on me, so tweet me if you want during the show. Hopefully I can respond. My Twitter handle is @StephanieGiorgi, Giorgi. Today was a pretty nuts show. I hate to say it, but I don't hate to say it. Steven was kind of correct about one thing, which we'll get to in just a second. But I'll be referencing my notes, Steven style, even though I hate to do that because y'all know I just like to talk about it and let him go through it. Anyways, so first scene, we see Lucia and Johnny driving to Mexico. So I guess they went through. We didn't see anything before that. I was a little bit nervous because I thought that there was going to be an issue getting there, but it seemed like there wasn't. They got there, and of course, who comes out? Carlito, all kinds of feminine, and is excited to see Johnny, which kind of cracked me up because I missed that episode, the one that Steven was telling you guys about. So it was really funny to see Carlito all in love with Johnny. Okay, excuse me. Next, Traffic House with Mike. They decided to do a new shipment, so that's going to be pretty difficult. I guess now Sala said that they're going to be doing the cruise ships. That's going to be the new idea, and he still has the layaway plan with all the girls. It's pretty sad. I don't know why he's staying there, but he was staying there. Checking on all of them, making sure that everything was okay. And then we have Johnny brings up, and then we're back in Mexico with the breakfast scene between Solano. We finally see the actual Carlos. And Carlito and Lucia are having breakfast. Johnny joins them. We see the interaction between Solano and Johnny, which I was kind of nervous about, but fortunately it wasn't too bad. However, Johnny had just gotten that phone call about the cruise ship, so that he got the heads up. He did a really nice transition with bringing up his little memory about driving down the south, doing the carnival, the ship cruise that, are still happening. However, when he brought it up, I was kind of surprised that Solano and Carlito got offended by it so quickly, because it really wasn't a response to Solano's question, and he easily could have just been talking about what he used to do back in the day. But they get really upset about it, and Johnny is dismissed from the table and is asked to leave. He goes, "You can go now." And that cracked me up, actually, because that was kind of cold. Then we see Charlie check on Amber and seeing what she's doing. Amber keeps proving to be this badass kind of a chick because she's building things with the... I wish Steven was here. I'm going to have a lack of words during this episode, y'all. My bad. But, yeah, she was building the setup for when they go rob the bank. Then Charlie finds out, though, that she's going to be involved with someone that she already knows. So they have to make sure that that doesn't happen so that they can bring in someone else and her cover obviously doesn't get blown. And then this is the part that I was talking about with Steven. The dad from in the beginning of the season, the beginning of the season, the father brings the tape to the station. I didn't think that that this was going to happen, but it did. And he says it. Well, what was correct was I thought that maybe he kept it away from the kids because they didn't need it. So the second that he heard it, he probably did believe it, didn't want them to kind of go into it further, takes it to the station, I guess, and then shows the guy. The officer or the agent that was there kind of doesn't believe him, especially because it was given to him as a cassette. But we don't see him listen to it a little bit later, which we'll get to when that scene happens. And then the next scene that we have is with Lucia and Johnny in the church, which his property, Solano's property, is off the hook, and exactly what he said. He has a monument, but it was a San Franciscan mission, so that was really cool. And then Briggs helps out Charlie, of course, because the guy that Amber was going to bring in to help them do the heist with, the third person that was going to get 20% of it, I think she had said prior. He's out. He caught him. That was a really cool driving scene. I loved that Briggs showed up and shot the car so that it stopped. And then they have Jakes replace this guy, which is perfect. I love the dynamic that Charlie and Briggs have in the beginning because it was funny. It kind of showed them the comfortableness of it. And so then they're going to use Jakes for it. Amber kind of gets a feel for him. They break the ice with the whole driving Miss Daisy joke and reference. So that was kind of funny. And then the second that Jakes walks out, Amber's like, okay, cool. Yeah, we can do this. And that happens. Jakes pretty much just convinces her by giving her his idea with using the van instead of the other car because it's easier to load, and even though the other one's quicker to drive away, but they need like they need everything in there at once, and then they'll be chilling after that. Hey Justin, did you hear anything from Steven if he was gonna call or not? Because I didn't get anything. No?
No, not at all.
Our engineer, y'all. Okay, so he might not call. Again, please, someone tweet me if you want, and we can talk.
If not, I'll have to do that.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, so then we're back in Mexico, and Carlito knows something's up, even though Carlito's a psycho, because clearly everything that happens, he gets jealous. He reminds me of a jealous girl at this point, because he's super sensitive about every single thing that Johnny does. And now we see that he has his complex about him and his father, because Johnny's becoming this impressive person. Carlito gets in his face, puts the gun up into Johnny, which this is the first time that I've seen, not the first time, but Johnny really gets scared about this, especially because they're in Mexico. They can't do anything about it if Carlito would have just shot him in the head. And clearly, Solano seems cool about it. They would have cleaned it all up since that's just normal. Oh, you know what? Let me go back to a point that I didn't bring up before when they were in the church. It was really sad to me, and it was good when they were talking about people dying or what her beliefs were. And she says that she did believe in it or that she didn't believe in it. And he says, why not? And she says, this is so good that even if she were to go to heaven, she would look around and no one there, which is nuts because really what she's saying is that her entire family's rotten. But after seeing her with her dad and her brother, Steven still might be right. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know, it's her family. She has to take care of them. And even though she's been through it, like all the tough times and them killing and the blood and the death, I don't know. That's really tough. However, that's a pretty strong statement to say that if you were to go to heaven, you know you wouldn't see your dad or your brother or anyone else because you know how evil they are. So I don't know, maybe Johnny's love, even though it'll soon be betrayal once she finds out, will change her mind, possibly not. And then this is my favorite part. I hope all of you guys noticed that Charlie, before she brushes her teeth, so it's not even that it was a gag reflex, it was literally probably like the scent of the toothpaste or something, runs to the toilet and throws up. Why do you think? Somebody might be preggers, which probably is the case because we see Charlie's reaction towards that a little bit later, which it'll be brought up in just a second. And then scene switches, and we have Mike, and we have Mike and Sulla. Sulla is trying to get with Lena at this point, and I guess she bites him where she's not supposed to bite him, atta girl Lena. What's funny is that this is the part, even though this was kind of mean, I was happy that Sulla did this. Mike decides to get all smart and gets into Sulla's face saying that, we're going to keep this and whatever, don't disrespect the deal that we have. And Mike's cockiness comes into play again, even though he's trying to play this part that is saying, he's tough and has to be the person that's working for his clients to get all these girls out. Sulla, bam, slaps him in the face. Why? Because he needs to check himself. And what he says, excuse my language, don't make me a bitch in my own house, which is true because that's exactly what he was doing. Mike gets checked. Honestly, I think that was good. Too bad it wasn't being checked by someone else, but he gets hit in the face. Yeah, he said, I will not be the bitch in my own home. That cracked me up. And then Sulla kind of walks out. The only thing that's bad here, which leads to what happens later, is that Sulla gets all mad, so now he has no mercy. He doesn't really care about what Mike says because Mike is trying to be this cool person and show him up when he's the one that's running the the trafficking. So that was not smart, considering if Sulla wanted to, he could have just shot him also. And yeah, everything just would have been lost. Mike just really needs to step his game up at this point. But we do see Mike this part's the sad part, which thank God Paige didn't see it. He finds the little, I don't even know what this is called, where you cremate people, and that was kind of intense because ultimately what that means is that anything could go down there and they can get rid of the evidence with fire, with nothing being left. So they're in a good position. They're in a good place. The warehouse is perfect for what they're doing, just in case things go bad. Then we have Solano and Johnny meet because Solano sends Lucia and Carlito to the store or something like that. And Johnny tells him, or first Solano brings up the fact that he sees Carlito's googly eyes for Johnny. That's a bit of an awkward situation, and I was wondering how he was going to react to it, considering it's a Latino background. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's not fond of yet. I know it's 2014, but still, traditional families are traditional families. So I was wondering if he was going to get into Johnny's face about it. He didn't. He just let him know that he knew what was going on. And then Johnny lets him know, and then Solano asks, well, if you're not interested in my son, then maybe you're interested in my daughter. And Johnny's like, nope, I'm interested in working with you. I really don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know. Solano's this is like an older man. This is someone with wisdom. I don't know why he wouldn't think that he's going to be easily peeping stuff out. But apparently he doesn't, because Johnny talks to him about it, gives him his cargo idea about when his buddy who works in the refugee, what they do if they were to drop off food, medicine, whatever it was, that it would go out of the back of the plane and, falls down like a little dandelion. And so it sparks the idea for Solano to do it that way, to forget about the cruise ships, forget about the buses, to do, using the planes. So that might get into play. We don't really see what Solano thinks because he leaves him saying, the only thing I have to say to you is I would keep my distance between my son if I were you, which is good considering Carlito's a freaking hothead and doesn't know how to just relax for 2 seconds. So then that's that little scene with them. We transition to Charlie and Briggs. Charlie wants to stay with Amber. Ask me why she wants to stay with Amber. Probably because she can't be around Briggs and talk to him without being like, fool, you probably knocked me up. Which is horrible because what are you supposed to do with a baby in Graceland? That's not allowed. That's not okay. That can't happen. And Charlie gets mad about, Briggs gets mad about her wanting to stay out there because then he doesn't have a look for her. And we hear him say Catherine DeLaMarco or Captain DeMarco, whatever Charlie's full name is. And it was just so cute because I've never seen that side of Briggs. To be perfectly honest, when they started talking to each other, I couldn't tell if it was because of him, if he was just bored, or did he really have these feelings for Charlie. I want to say that during this scene, you kind of see him care about her in a different way. And when he addresses her to her full name, I don't know, I liked it. I liked it seeing that he would really care. And the biggest thing is that I really, really wonder what his reaction would be to Charlie being pregnant, because really he would probably stop her from doing anything because she's pregnant, so he doesn't want to, risk hurting the baby. However, what if Briggs is this person who says, no, we can't keep it, and then Charlie's in the position to make the decision to lose it or not or whatever, and that's a big deal. That's huge. Hopefully that turns out okay, but I have a feeling that Charlie's going to be keeping it a secret for as long as she can, not even because of her relationship with Briggs, but because she wants to continue doing what she's doing. She knows that that's going to put her, she's going to be limited after this. If she has a baby growing inside of her, the first thing that she's going to want to do is take care of it, and she's not going to be able to do these operations that are, high risk. So that's pretty complicated. I do feel bad for her. And then we see, we have a next scene. We're back in the warehouse with Sulla and Mike. I like this scene because you really see where Sulla's head is at, because he's watching this old movie with Marilyn Monroe and someone else, and he talks about how women were real women then. with curves, with more hair, more classy. And then he says something that really cracked me up. He's like, I don't know what happened when men got afraid of their mothers and decided they wanted to hook up with their little sisters instead. I guess his vulgarness there kind of shows why he has no respect for like these little type of girls and these people and everything. But I don't know, it just sucks because then right after that, this is the part that's horrible. Mike walks up with Lena, trying to be the tough Mike that he thinks he is. And honestly, I'm not happy that this happened, but it's one of those like lessons learned. Mike tries to come up and he tries to be cocky again, comes up with Sola after Sola's having this whole, let me degrade women real quick, belittle them by telling you about all of this and everything. And he's like, oh, I'm going to take Lena. Trying to cross a line again. You know, he's trying to put up this front, trying to act more tough towards Sela. Like, no, this is going to happen. Sela says what he has to say. Clearly, he's serious. Mike doesn't care. He's like, nope, I'm going to take her. Starts to walk away. And what happens? Sorry, Paige. Lena's gone. Because of Mike. And through Mike's arms. Like, literally, she probably could have still been alive. They could have found out a different plan. But nope, Mike had to jump the gun, got too cocky, Lena got killed. And then we have a Briggs complex coming into play because the first thing that Mike does, which all these agents who continue being involved with people dying, is thinking about like, what is he gonna do? He decides to call Paige for like a second, hangs up. And well, it's just really sad because, I mean, Lena died. That's horrible. Died like trying to leave and she was just stabbed in the stomach. Like she didn't even have a chance. And this is the very least of what could happen during human trafficking. She was lucky she got as far as she did being in the situation that she was. But that was really sad. That's horrible because that ish happens. And then, yeah, so we see the scene with him and Paige next. And what does he do? He tries to calm her down. So he sets this whole thing up where he says that Lena's in the back of the trunk. He drives off somewhere, makes it look as if she jumped out of the trunk and hits her in the head so that Paige could be calm and that she could be okay, pretty much to just shut her up, which kind of pisses me off because that I hate when men do this to try to protect women as if they can't handle it themselves. I know that we've all been proven or seen that Paige clearly cannot handle it. She gets over emotional, which is unfortunate. And I'm not trying to belittle or make women sound themselves, but it's an unfortunate typical thing that we do. And then, yeah, so Mike hits himself in the head. Paige thinks that she gets away. However, this part's also really good to me because then you see Paige get upset and she's like, no, we have to look for Lena. And the reason why I don't like this part is because now you see where Paige is at. Paige, she's thinking about, she forgot about all the other girls. This whole point was just because she had this personal relationship with Lena, exchanged words with her, that she felt guilty that she left her there. She honestly was just thinking, nope, the next most important thing to do now is to save Lena, and then what would have happened afterwards. Fortunately, Mike says, no, what about the other girls? I know that Mike did this so that Paige will eventually let go, so that his words usage will be, well, at least now she's free. Let her she ran away, she got to where she can, I'm sure she got help somewhere. If she didn't end up back home, at least she's not being trafficked as a human trafficker. And then he's gonna traffic her. What the hell? Sorry. And then Paige will be okay and Mike will think he got out of it. And this is my Mike and Briggs thing. He learned from the best. And it's sad. And then we see Mike cremate Lena. And that's really horrible. And he cries and has his moment. So he should, because he's the reason why Lena got killed. Like, absolutely, 100% the reason why. Had he not tried to been tough for that second. Anyway, sorry. I know my tone just changed, but that was a really sad part. Then we have... Oh, yeah. Then we're back in Mexico. And we have... I'm so sad. Sorry, guys. I'm so sad about that Lena part. Poor girl. I know this is fake, but if that was true, that'd be horrible. Anyways, back to Mexico. Carlito gets Johnny. I get scared for a second because I thought that Carlito was going to have another rant and shoot him or something or whatever, do something weird or even rape him. Just kidding. Not really. But they walk over and they go talk to his dad. Then we see, I love this part because we see Carlito being the little like boy that he is because, oh, papa, no, I'm good too. No. So Johnny one-ups him and gives him a good plan. Solano's interested in this plan, so now they might be partaking in this. And then we see Lucia walk up, which she gets so upset because at that moment, you like the look that she gives Johnny when Johnny just steps out of the frame so that she can't see him anymore is pretty much like, wow, you really do want to get involved in this and that. I'm pretty much nothing to you. And you're probably going to end up dying because you're getting involved with my father and my brother. And that's what leads to hanging out with them is death. Blood and death. Blood and death. All the time because that's what all of this is all about. So Johnny gets upset but won't cross his father or anything like that. Lets him know, and then he says that the only issue is that he can't have the both of them working together because Carlito's emotions will get in the way. I'm just kidding. That's not what he says, but that's what I was thinking. And he says it, and then Johnny, being Johnny, was like, well, I don't need Carlito. I can handle this entire operation by myself. And he's like, well, do you have the means for it? And, or, you know, do you have everything that you need to do it? And he's like, yep, we all know that he does. So I guess they're getting closer in this situation, but the only reason why this isn't going to work is because the tape was heard. And finally, we are at this point, what frickin' Steven made the prediction about. Well, this is what's going to blow up on the finale. We're going to see exactly what happens. And I didn't realize that the names were said because even the agent's like, do the names Paul Briggs and Juan Badillo mean anything to you? Whoever he's on the phone with on the other line says yes, and I'm just wondering if it's Sid, or I'm wondering if it's someone from DC, or if it's someone from the original, like the original case, like the people who made, like whoever Juan Badillo was working for that had sent Mike originally to go take a look at Briggs. I'm wondering if it's one of them, or I don't know. I mean, I doubt it'd be Kelly, but no, yeah, it wouldn't be because obviously she would know his name. Anyways, so yeah, now we're gonna see what happens next because that was the end of that, unless I already forgot and didn't finish taking my notes. I'm just kidding. But no, yeah. So then we end with the tape, and then we'll see what happens next week. We're gonna still see now the heist with the money, and then apparently. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and go into predictions. Can we go into predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I saw the scene with Mike Mike gets cut up, and then Sid, you see the look on Sid's face. He makes a smirk and laughs because... Oh, right. They don't know. Well, no, he knows. Well, I guess he thinks that he got him cut up because I know that Sid knows that Mike is an agent. And then he gets caught up in this situation. He gets caught up in the warehouse. However, I want to say that Paige will have to do something with them breaking into the warehouse and like taking everything down. Or maybe they talk about it. They find out that Briggs is who he is, Paul West. And then that changes everything around. They kick Paige off, and then that's the reason why they go into the warehouse because they no longer have to, they don't care about the Solano case because they're going to ruin everything now, which technically is what's going to happen if the warehouse goes down because that's exactly what Mike didn't want. At this point, I don't know. I honestly couldn't even tell you. I'm wondering if they're going to speak to, possibly next week after hearing the tape, they might speak to Kelly and Kelly might confirm for them, or the tape sounds differently. Or maybe because we didn't hear the whole tape, maybe we'll hear the entire tape and something was missing possibly, and it'll make it sound differently. But we'll see. I don't know. This is going to be nuts. Next week we'll find out exactly what's going to happen with the tape and exactly what's going to happen with Paul Briggs. Because really, this is what's getting to me. Because pretty much Jake's is cool. He's doing his bang thing. Charlie, her issue is going to be just her pregnancy and whether or not she's going to be able to do this operation with Amber. Johnny, let's hope he stays alive in Mexico and just he's ultimately helping the operation go further. Paige is just still butthurt. Mike is stuck up in there. So the only one, remember what we were talking about as far as one of the main characters having to get off or die or something? Let's hope that it's not Briggs. We will find out that next week. I hope you enjoyed me talking to you and you only. I will see you guys next week. Steven will be here. He was on vacation. Make sure to tweet him and let him know that you missed him and his analytical ways. And I hope that you did enjoy my solo podcast with you guys all. Don't forget to tweet me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi, Giorgi. Tweet Steven. You'll see his name. I don't want to misspell his last name, so I'm not going to say it. You could also follow me on Twitter at SteffiG47 and let me know what you think. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.